To give a little context before we get into the interview, Nikita just won his first ATP point just a couple weeks ago. An ATP point is absolutely massive in the world of tennis. Kind of gets everything going in terms of your career and stuff like that. So massive news for Nikita. Let's get into the interview.
So we welcome Nikita Snezhko, University of North Dakota men's tennis player. Nikita, you won Newcomer of the Year this year at North Dakota, along with winning some honors for, was it All Summit League? Did you win like all conference for Summit League? Do they do that?
It's just all conference. Like they pick like the best players in the conference. So I got that, and then the Summit League Newcomer of the Year. So it's pretty cool.
How do you think the season went from like a team perspective and then individual perspective for you?
Team-wise, I think we did pretty well. I mean, we had a winning record, had some pretty good wins. I mean, we beat Air Force on the road 4-3, which is like really tough to do in elevation. I mean, conference, I mean, we beat Omaha, Oral Roberts, and Illinois State. So we got third in the conference, losing to Drake in the conference semis. I mean, we had a pretty close match, but just didn't go our way. And I'd say like individually, I mean, I did way better than I did like my last year at Iowa. Kind of turned it around. I think I had a 14-5 record, something like that, and then similar in doubles, playing at one doubles. So pretty impressed with like how I played, and then team wise too. I mean, we don't lose anyone for next year, except one player. So have a pretty similar team, and then going next year, I'm pretty excited to see what we can do.
Kind of want to bring it back to some of your high school days, playing at Robbinsdale Armstrong. So just kind of take me through like even like kind of in your middle school and high school days, like your progress, like how you kind of finished throughout those years. I know you've had a third place finish your senior year and stuff like that. Like how'd you do in those previous years, you know, in the state tournament and just like overall season?
I started 7th grade year. But yeah, I was in a pretty tough section, like my like freshman, sophomore year. I was with BD, obviously, and then we just had like a tough section. My sophomore year, I placed 4th in my section, so I didn't make it out. And then junior year, I ended up playing doubles with my partner Joe Lipovitz. That year was pretty tough too. It was Nick Beatty and I had Charlie Atkins in it too, but I had Oscar Schlatters, so I was like kind of coming back from like a growing knee thing. So I was like, I'll just play doubles. Got one Conci doubles in that state tournament, and then senior year played singles, finally made it for singles, which is like pretty crazy that I only made it once. But I got third that year. I lost to Sebastian Weil in the semis.
Where in that progress did you decide like, hey, Iowa's the choice for me? Like, why'd you choose Iowa? Were they looking at you? Like, how'd you go there?
Yeah, so I had like a pretty tough recruiting. I'd say like junior year, I was like on like a kind of a rise. Like I was 3-star, but I was kind of going more into like the 4-star phase, but I didn't really get there until like senior year. And so like obviously it's like so tough, like if you want to play like Power 5, because even if you're a 4 or 5-star, like people might not even like give you a chance or like a walk-on spot. And it's kind of crazy because other sports, if you're like a 3-4-star, you're like insane. And like in tennis, it's not really like that. So basically like my senior year, like I knew like I could potentially play like a Big Ten level, but like I just didn't have like the opportunity at the time, and I just needed like an opportunity to like practice and show myself. So like senior year, I was like reaching out to schools like mid-major, like Power 5, and I just like wasn't getting that many like replies. Like coaches like wouldn't reply to me, or they just wouldn't even offer me a spot. So like basically like this was like the summer before senior year, and my coach at Iowa, Ross Wilson, I don't know if I reached out or he reached out, but basically like started talking to him, and I think he liked I think he saw me play at Davis Cup, like 18s, like team nationals, and he liked my game. I mean, big guy, big server, but just didn't have like the results that like a lot of other guys in the Big Ten had. So then started talking to him, and that was literally my only like option for tennis at the time, for Big Ten. Like no other coach like even like wanted me. So I guess that like kind of humbled me a little bit, and like I knew I had like some work to do, but at the same time like kind of prove some people wrong that I can play at a higher level. So yeah, so like I took a visit senior year and then ended up committing. So yeah, like I just like didn't have that many options at the time. So that's why I kind of chose Iowa. And I wanted to go to school where like the coach like believed in me and knew I could like progress my level. So that was kind of why I chose Iowa. And like, yeah, that's the rest is history, I guess. But yeah, that's
Was it the same coach your 3 years there?
yeah, same coach. Yeah, Ross Wilson. He really good player. He played at Ohio State, was like All-American, I think, doubles champion for like 2 years. So he's good coach, good player. So I like knew, and I plus like I've always like wanted to like play doubles like after college and stuff because I know I can play like a high level. So I knew like getting coach under him would be pretty cool. And like so yeah, that's why I chose Iowa.
Yeah, so let's get into some juicy stories here.
Yeah.
So obviously a lot of people know about the University of Minnesota getting cut. I know WCCO covered it. A lot of Minnesota broadcasting just stations have covered that, but not a lot of people know about Iowa's story and about what happened at the University of Iowa. And if you could just kind of take us through that. I can also give some context like you guys, if I recall, were like had an insanely high GPA and were in the top 25 during that year as well. So my question is like, give us some context. Like, did you have any idea that was coming, or did you like, were you guys given a heads up? I mean, I know they tried to cut UND, or they were thinking about cutting UND when I was there in my sophomore year, and we had a little bit of heads up that might happen. But were you guys given that, or kind of just take us through what that process was like?
Yeah. So I'll try to make it not too long, but okay. So we got cut right, or no, COVID happened March. We got cut in August. So basically I was home during that time because I had COVID, and we started school like the week after, but this was a Friday. So basically I wake up and I get a bunch of notifications like, oh, there's like a meeting at the basketball arena or whatever with these like teams. And I was like thinking like, oh, it's probably just like an orientation, like right before season starts. And then like my team's texting like, oh, what is it about? No one's like responding. So then they're there and I'm like texting my like teammate Oliver on the team. And I'm like, yo, like what's the meeting about? And he just responds like, yo, like we're getting cut, bro. And I was like laughing. I was like, haha, like good joke. Cause I thought he was just like joking. Cause I was like, there's no way.
Yeah.
And then he like texted me back. He's like, no, bro, like we actually got cut. And like, I went from like laughing to just like hysterically like crying. Like I just like lost my crap. And like, I was like, no way. And then like my coach texted me, is like, yeah, we got cut. And then, so basically they apparently like the AD came into like the room with the teams and he was just like, yeah, we don't have enough money for you guys. COVID kind of ruined it. We can't have a football season. So basically they're like, literally he said, all right, we're cutting you guys. Basically nothing you can do about it. And he just like left, no questions whatsoever.
Wow.
And then, yeah, that's basically how it happened. I was shook. Like we had no idea. I mean, Iowa's like a top 25, 30 revenue making schools from sports. Like there's not many schools that make revenue from sports. So I was like, there's no chance like Iowa, Big Ten, like 80,000 people, football stadiums, like getting packed. Like there's no way like we get cut. And like somehow it did happen. And yeah, it was crazy when it did happen.
Yeah. No, obviously. Yeah. And it just given like, no offense to Iowa, but there was a couple of periods there where you guys were near the bottom of the Big Ten and you completely turned that around. Mm-hmm. And we're then now, really like in the top 25, like really seeming to find your guys, becoming a legitimate, like really good Division I school. So yeah, just from that, I mean, that was shocking for all of us. And then to see, you guys were before Minnesota, correct?
Yeah, we were like 2 weeks before that.
Yeah. So just seeing both teams now just gone is obviously crazy. So going into more positive stuff now, what led you to North Dakota? Was it connections with people on the team, just a good fit? Just lead us into kind of how you found a new home at UND.
Yeah, so when we got cut, obviously I entered like the transfer portal, and like at the time, this time around, I had like a lot more like options coming this time around because I had like some results under my back and played some matches in the Big Ten, so it was a lot easier this time around. So started talking with a lot of coaches like in the area, and so basically like I wasn't like too nervous like after we got cut because I was like, oh, there's not many people like getting cut. I thought we were going to be the only ones cut, and then I saw like Minnesota getting cut, and I was like, oh crap, like what if like it's just like a domino effect of like teams getting cut, and I was like, I don't want to like lose my scholarship offers and stuff. So yeah, like I started UND reached out, and I thought it was like a good opportunity. I mean, like UND was like on the rise, and I think it was like good opportunity to come and like try to like showcase some good tennis. And I knew they were getting better as well, so that was like one reason.
How many of those guys did you know like on the team before you went there?
So I was good friends with Petro, and then Jay Coleman played on the team, but he left when I got there, so I knew like two of them. So I only knew two, but I knew like people on like the previous teams that were there, so I kind of had like an idea of like what it was like, and like I was kind of like intrigued, like, and plus it was like one of the only D1 schools left in like the northern section kind of, so it was pretty like cool like to stay like here like close to Minnesota and play for like people up here. So yeah, and then like good scholarship offer, but yeah, I just wanted to join a team that was like on the rise, and then just see what we could do, like make history. So yeah, that's kind of what led me to come to North Dakota, I guess.
What awesome. So those guys like on that team, like from their perspective, you know, you get a guy from, you know, Big Ten school like Iowa. I think you were the first was it Matt Craig? Is that pronounced?
Yeah, Matt Craig, yeah.
You guys were top. You guys were the first team in 20 years to reach the ITA, you know, was it regional tournament or national?
It's fall national. So it was us and our other doubles teams. We had two doubles teams, so it was pretty cool to have two doubles teams go to like the ITA fall national.
That's super sick. But so kind of going to UND, like these guys are seeing, hey, like this really quality player who's going to play in the lineup for sure in dubs, and for sure in singles. Like someone's probably losing a spot right there. Like, did they kind of welcome you with open arms? You know, kind of being like you know, going in as a senior type of thing, or fourth year.
Yeah, it was pretty good welcoming. Like, I mean, I knew what I was getting myself into, and they knew like I was coming in. Like, I had a lot of experience, obviously coming from like a Big Ten team, and I've been on the bench. I've been in doubles lineup, singles lineup, so I know what it's like all around college tennis. So I think like coming into UND, I like just wanted to like showcase like my experience and try to like bring that onto the team, because a lot of the guys at UND like were either like transfer students or like younger guys. So I kind of want to like step up and like show what it's like to be a good college team, good college tennis player. So just trying to do anything I can to like, I guess like make an impact right away. But yeah, I welcome pretty well. Yeah, and I'm pretty happy, like no problems. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with my time at North Dakota, and we obviously got a new coach as well, Tom Boysen. So I guess coming in with him too, he came from like Nebraska Big Ten as well. So
where do you think you've grown most as a person, like from high school, like through college tennis, through all these like tough experiences? Like, where do you think you've grown most?
I'd say, I mean, from a tennis standpoint, obviously I got like better, but I think a lot of it was mentally. Yeah, just like learning how to like compete like on a day-to-day basis. Like, I mean, in juniors, I mean, obviously I guess like categorized as kind of like a mental head case at times, and just
for sure,
kind of like I just like I didn't have it in me all the time. Like I would play good, I would like have a good attitude, and then I was like losing, I wouldn't have a good attitude. So coming into like Big Ten, like Iowa, like I was worst player on the team. Like coming in, I like knew like I couldn't like act like a baby. Like I had to like work day in and day out. So I guess like and playing under like Ross, like he didn't take any crap from anyone. So I like was like every practice I had to come in 100%. So that was like a wake up call, and like I knew I had to change as well if I wanted to like change my level or like come to the next level. So yeah, I think like mentally, like it's just like tough because everyone in college tennis, especially at that level, like competes like a dog. Like there's like no one's like tanking like matches, and like you're not gonna get an easy match like that. So that was kind of like the tough part. So like mentally, obviously, just compete like the competing wise. I mean, with my game, I mean, I've always like had like a big game, like trying to finish points in like 4 shots. So like trying to build an all around game, but I guess like obviously I need to serve. Like I've developed more of like a lot of like chip and charge, like coming in, like trying to use anything I can. I'm like 6'6", so obviously like taller guy. I need to get to the net, and I have pretty good volleys. So I've demonstrated a lot of that in like doubles, obviously with like my results, and then singles wise, like freshman year I only played 1 match in the lineup, and yeah, so then going from like not playing singles like at all to like playing a full season last year was kind of like a lot to deal with because I like mentally it's like you're gonna play, but I played like 20 matches in like 4 months, which I've never done for singles. So that was like good. And I'm glad how I did this year, so I was happy with that. So I guess yeah, like mentally like pretty big deal, but like tennis wise, I mean I could talk about like strokes and stuff, but like I think a lot of it is mental. Like you can't really change strokes in college, just how you compete. And like I just found ways to like fight and compete and try to get W's. So that's basically what I say I improved the most in like college and from high school to college basically.
So do you think it's mostly coaching that helped your mental side of things, or like what do you think the biggest like change in all that was with your mental
I'd
game?
say, I don't know. I think because I like a lot of it is like myself, because like obviously like a lot of it is on yourself. And like if I knew I wanted to play at like a higher level, and like these I'm trying to like think of like how to say it, but yeah, I mean like I started like seeing a psychologist and stuff, like trying to help me like through it, and that like helped a lot. And I guess just like working hard like every day and just like being out there like kind of made me like tougher as well. And being like with like a bunch of guys that were like kicking my ass like every day at practice, and like so that was like really humbling as well. So yeah, I guess a lot of it was like myself, but like people that was like around and like always like trying to get me to do better and like be myself. And like just yeah, I'd say a lot combination of a lot of things, but I can't like necessarily point out like one thing. So
Yeah. So like in the summer right now, you're helping coach for On the Rise Tennis. Do you try to focus? And I know you like to coach the higher caliber players, higher skill people, work more on strategy and tactics rather than just like teaching someone how to hit a stroke.
yeah.
So do you when you're teaching those, high level players, are you trying to bring in the mental aspect of it as well? Or do you like to focus more on just like tactics and that type of stuff?
Yeah, like it's like yeah, this is what Mike's like 6th or 7th year coaching, but like obviously it's a lot different when you're just coaching how to hit a forehand and like the mental side. But I do like to talk about like the mental aspect and stuff. So yeah, like when I do get a chance, I do like tactical wise, yes. But yeah, like trying to like learn how to coach people like has helped me like as a tennis player, obviously. And like when I tell somebody what to do, like I kind of like tell like what I would tell myself in that regards.
You're playing a lot of the Dakota Summer Circuit stuff. So when you're signing up for some of those tournaments, are you like, hey, I want to try to get paid, or you're like, hey, I want to be able to compete at the a super high level? Like, what of your mindset like for signing up for those tournaments? Like, obviously you're a great player and stuff like that, and definitely can compete in terms of, like getting to that money point in the tournaments, whether it be semis or finals. Like, what do you think? Like, why do you sign up for those tournaments? Is it just level, or is it like trying to make a little bit of money, both? Or
A little bit of money for sure, but I like right now I'm not too like worried about like the money, because I know like eventually like it could come. But I think like for me, like especially when you're like playing college tennis, like summer is like super important to like get the matches in, because a lot of people like go into the summer just like taking the whole summer off and not really playing, and then they get back to the season just start struggling. And like I did that like when COVID happened. I didn't play that summer. I came back in my last year out when it was so hard to like climb back and try to play at the level I used to. So I like committed to like playing tournaments this summer. I think I've like around 25 matches in, but yeah, like it's good to like make like that money too. But at the same time, I'm just trying to like get my matches in. Cause obviously after I have one more year left, and I want to play like some pro tournaments after, like start playing like futures and stuff. So for me, it's kind of just like the grind and just like trying to like compete at a higher level. I know I had some good matches. I played like BD, like Mohamed, and then had a close match with Toby Boyer the other weekend. So like I know I can compete at that high level, but it's kind of just trying to get over that hump and try to like really get to that next level. Like, and so that's what I'm kind of like working towards right now. And that's kind of like my goal for this summer. And I have one more tournament. I'm going down to Nashville, play like a wild card tournament for this futures in Memphis. So yeah, maybe I can get in, but yeah, like next year is like the goal. And like, obviously after college ends, like done with college, try to play pro, and we'll see what happens then. So
obviously that's a little bit of a ways out, but do you think you're going to focus more on like the double side just because like you're in insane doubles, or do you think you want to do like both, like focus on singles and also do doubles in all those tournaments too?
Yeah, so I'll start. I think it's like easier to start with singles because obviously there's qualifying for singles. Like doubles, there's
right
a main draw and there's no qualifying. So I'll have to for sure start like with singles, and then like yeah, we'll see. Like 2 summers ago I played some qualifying, so like I kind of know like what the level is and what I need to do obviously to get better. But like we'll see singles, and then doubles wise, like I've only played one, but lost in like a third set tiebreaker in that one, and like against like 14 UTRs. So I was like, I kind of like woke up and I was like, yeah, like I can do this. So that's kind of like I believe in myself that I can do it. So I kind of just want to keep going towards that. But yeah, doubles for sure. I will start out with singles and doubles, but singles obviously doesn't work. I'll just stick with doubles, and then we'll see what happens from there. But I'm pretty optimistic with how things are going, so I'm just excited to after this year.
Do you when you kind of commit to that, you know, hey, I'm going to try to play some futures, try to make a little bit of money, you know, just going down the tennis route, do you try to hire a coach, or do you just kind of like go at individual? Because like, I mean, obviously hiring a coach is expensive and stuff like that. Like,
yeah, I'm going to probably try to make like the most sacrifices I can. I mean, I probably won't have a coach. I mean, a lot of the guys like on the futures tour don't really have coaches. It's like impossible, but like,
sure.
I mean, it's tough. Like financially wise, like tennis sucks for like starting. So I'm going to have to like find ways to like fund that for myself and like find ways to like travel. So I'm kind of right now, like the main focus is like, how am I going to fund it and like get myself to these places. And then after that, I can like worry about like coaching and stuff. But yeah, that's like something I haven't really thought about, but like a lot of people don't really have coaches at that lower level. So, I mean, I'll just take any coaching I can get, I guess, from that point.
It's also like you're going from, you know, being a college student where you don't make, you know, a ton of money to, you know, going into the kind of the real world more or less. But rather than going from making 6 figures to like, hey, I'm not making anything, like at least you're already starting kind of like, hey, I'm already like not
fair point
making a ton of money. That'd be a hard adjustment, I think.
Yeah. It's going to be like weird transition because like in college, obviously there's like a whole support system. You have like a team, coaches, like strength and every like coaches, psychologists, and like it's going to be like hard kind of going from like all this support and then like going to like traveling by yourself and like doing everything on your own. So that's going to kind of be like pretty tough because I'm pretty like social. Like I like getting help from others. So it's going to be like tough like mentally, but yeah, like a lot of people struggle with that on like the futures tour. So I guess that's going to be like the worst part about it all.
I reached out to Chase Roseth before this interview. I was like, hey, yo, Chase.
Yeah.
You have any good questions for Nikita? We're gonna have him on. So he came up with just one question, super genuinely, you know, curious, see what I guess what your response would be. He said, how's your record in 10-point tiebreakers versus Rosa?
Oh my, that guy.
He's such a clown.
That guy's a 2-0 record against me in 10-point tiebreakers. But like the one time I think I was up 9-6 in a 10-point breaker and he won it against me. It was like 10 p.m. at baseline on like a Saturday night or something. I almost lost my crop. Another time was at the rack in Rochester, and I think I like cracked my phone screen right after the match. So Chase is a good player. So
Dude, Chase, let's put some at the end. Let's put some respect on Chase Roseth's name, okay? Like he was a dog, all right.
Dog.
Chase is good.
Yeah, Chase is a good player. Like
yeah, he was a good player. I played doubles with him too, so it's still a good friend of mine. But yeah, I for some reason just like cracked under pressure against that guy in juniors and 10-point tiebreakers. Okay.
Nikita, appreciate you sitting down with us, kind of going through your tennis story. I'm super excited. Hopefully, this upcoming year you got a great season with UND, and then whatever happens after that.
Yeah,
thank you, Nikita.
I appreciate for having you guys. We're having you guys ask me questions, being on your podcast. So best of luck to you guys too. I'm excited for you guys too. So yeah, guess we'll be grinding together.
Sounds good.
Yeah.